Writing is important in broadcasting because it is the core of everything we do. Often people think, well, gee, if I sit in front of the camera and do the news, I don't have to write anything. Or if I'm on the morning drive news talk station, I don't have to write anything because I'm just going to be talking. Writing is the critical key aspect of this.
I think that writing skills are hugely important across anything that you do, but particularly in broadcasting, because broadcasters, the expectation is that we communicate. And beyond that point, I actually believe that in order to be a good video editor, you need to actually have some writing skills, because you need to be able to organize your thoughts in such a way that you can communicate them clearly to your reader or your viewer if you're doing video editing or audio editing even. The point is, it all comes from the same sort of fountain, and that fountain is this ability to communicate verbally.
One of the things I really wish I would have known before really diving into especially journalism is how nitpicky writing in communication is. Just because it's an AP style, and all through high school you never got taught that. It was always MLA and standard paper format. And then taking my first communication class, they're basically, you walk in the first day and they say, okay, forget everything you know about writing. We're starting here from the ground up, and it's a little bit scary, a little bit nerve-wracking.
The difference between the writing that you're asked to do in college and the writing that you're required to do in broadcasting, they're serving two different audiences. So what's appropriate for a broadcast audience may not really rise to the level of formality that you're required to do in college writing, in much college writing. So, if you're writing a report, an academic paper or something like that, the tone of it has to be pretty different from the tone that you'd have for a broadcast piece. I've
taught myself through trial and error to gain more knowledge about things, especially here at the radio station. I had a guy that, trained me great, but it's not until you're in the position, until I took the student general manager position, and if something went wrong, I got a telephone call, or I had to come up here and actually, mess with these buttons and knobs, and then no amount of training can prepare you for something like that until it actually happens and you have to put your hands on it. And I think it's a lot of the same thing with writing.
Probably the best advice I can give you for becoming a better writer is to first read a lot and sort of try on different voices. You'll read somebody else's writing and see and figure out if that's something. Can you picture your own words in that same style? And then try to mimic some of that without copying out somebody else's style, because it's hard to do anyway. But try to mimic somebody else. So it's almost like being an actor. You try on a different style and try to mimic different styles. And then the next most important thing is reread and edit and write and rewrite and reread and edit. And really, in order to be a good writer, even to this day, even if it's just a simple email, I'll reread it a couple times before sending it off, because what might have made sense to you when you were writing might not make sense in reading it back, and then you go, oh, okay, I got it, I picked it up, and then just do that 2 or 3 times and it gets better each time.
You have to sit back and think about what I want to read this, and if you can get that part through your head, then you shouldn't have a problem.